My name is Parker. I am a cybersecurity account executive at Darktrace. I'm just going to give you a brief presentation on our company, kind of what we've been doing over the past few years, and a bit of an intro into the technology as well. So, Darktrace has essentially created a fundamentally different and innovative new approach for protecting companies and governments from cyber threats. As a bit of a background to the company, we were founded about 3 years ago from mathematicians out of the University of Cambridge in the UK, as well as various government intelligence specialists from organizations such as MI5, GCHQ, and they kind of teamed together and created this technology based on machine learning and advanced mathematics. Our headquarters are still currently in the University of in Cambridge, UK, as well as San Francisco, dual headquartered. We've seen tremendous growth over the past 3 years. I think we're currently sitting at the fastest growing cyber defense company in the world. We have about over 750 customer installations, about 20 global locations, 500% year-on-year growth. So just fantastic necessity and need for this all around. And the next slide will kind of just give you an idea of who we're working with. You know, some of the bigger companies, we're agnostic, so we're all across the board: financial, healthcare, tech, the whole thing. So it's really great. And not only do we have a really fantastic technology, which I'll actually dive into in a bit too, but we're also backed by an unbelievable leadership team. So a lot of these individuals have a lot of experience either in high growth tech companies or in cyber analytics in various organizations. The one I do want to point out is Mr. Alan Wade. He is a recent add to our board, and he was the former CIO of the CIA. So we're really pleased to have him on advising and keeping us sort of with that government backbone, I guess. So what are we doing here? So we felt a new approach was needed for several reasons. The primary one being, as you gentlemen all know, and ladies, every organization is always infiltrated to some degree, right? At some point, it's going to happen, right? You know, doesn't matter how well you protect your organization. You know, if a bad guy wants to get in, they're going to find a way in, right? They're funded, as the gentleman before me was saying. They're motivated. It's possible. So the attacks have become more sophisticated. So not only external threat actors, which are obviously a problem, but insider threats have become a huge problem as well and can cause significant harm to the organization. We're also seeing things as sophisticated as altering log data and things of that nature to kind of cover attackers' tracks. So a long story short is that these attackers are not only more sophisticated, but also potentially silent, and depending on the industry you're in, could be even deadly to an organization. And in addition to that, the legacy approaches that the original founders of Darktrace were seeing were failing, right? So it's impossible to keep rules and signatures up to date. Kind of basing everything on the perimeter just wasn't working. We're seeing this time and time again. So they felt that, okay, we're focusing all this time on the skin of the enterprise, right? What about the immune system? What about internally? What's going on? So they based this approach that we call the enterprise immune system on the biological principles of the human immune system, right? It sits internally in the network and monitors and models every single user, device, network, the enterprise as a whole, and then creates a baseline understanding of self in that enterprise, right? And knows, bespoke to that environment, what is going on internally. So what it's able to do is then learn self. It uses that unsupervised machine learning to learn what's normal for every user, device, and network, like I mentioned. It can then use that baseline of normality for that enterprise to automatically detect subtle emerging anomalies in real time. So we're analyzing raw network traffic, so raw data, and this allows us to have 100% visibility into the network and all the actions taking place internally into that network. And we could even play that network traffic back. We store all the metadata on the appliance for up to 6 months, so you have that forensic capability as well. In terms of the actual math approach behind it, we use a form of Bayesian estimation coming out of the University of Cambridge, which is the world leader in this kind of mathematics. And this recursive Bayesian estimation detects subtle changes, like I mentioned, in that within the data series in real time. We're actually monitoring over 350 metrics or dimensions of data from every single packet coming across the wire, and then using that to kind of build the understanding of the network. And those algorithms are being updated about every 15 seconds for the lifetime that the enterprise immune system is installed. So it's getting stronger as it goes on, and sort of learning that network as it goes. And we're able to do this without any a priori knowledge about what's good or bad or anything about your organization. We use zero rules, signatures, agents, or any of the above. So it's true unsupervised machine learning, detecting not necessarily malicious behavior, but stuff that's abnormal to your environment. Business practices, things that may lead up to a greater attack early on. So how does it all work? Right, I'm talking about all this math and you sort of magic, whatever, that I don't even truly understand the details of it because I'm not a mathematician, but essentially we designed the entire approach to be as automated as possible and easy to install. So we don't want to have this long time where it has to learn the network. It's a software product, but it's delivered as a hardware appliance. It plugs in passively in the network via tap or span, and then it immediately starts analyzing that network and that traffic. It installs in about an hour, and within 5 minutes of being plugged in, we could tell you a lot about your organization. Within about a week and a half, we have a pretty good baseline of what's going on, and we can start giving you real actionable intelligence about your environment and start alerting to some of those emerging anomalies. So it's very quick, very easy. And this next slide kind of gives you an idea of where it sits in your general stack, right? So we are internal. We are quite literally the enterprise immune system. We want to know everything that's going on. There's a place for everything else. You still need it, but we want to be supplementary to that, the other existing technologies and tools you have, and then work with them to kind of give you the full coverage in your security stack. And this gives you just an idea of sort of the technology architecture. So we're ingesting the network data, log data, user behavioral data. We could take in any forms of data you could feed us from other tools, badging systems, physical security. That all flows in and is captured by the appliance. We're then analyzing over 350 dimensions from every single packet or points of data, and then modeling it, and then it all comes out in a beautiful UI that we have that was actually designed by one of the guys who worked on Lucasfilm gaming. So it's really pretty. Unfortunately, I'm not able to show it today. But then, you know, we have a lot of customers like I showed earlier, but I'll go over a quick case study. Drax was one of our early adopters. I think one of our within our first few months. It's a massive industry and utility company, primarily based out in the UK. And they had a big issue with insider threat on their corporate side as well as their OT side. So the beauty of the solution we've created is we cover that IT side as well as your OT SCADA environments. We could cover cloud and then deliver everything under one window pane for the teams to look at, so they're not having to dive between a multitude of different tools. That, I believe, is the end. In conclusion, so the enterprise immune system, what we've created is unique. It's able to automatically understand the network, users, individuals, powered by machine learning, so automated, automatic, and it's able to learn normal, detect emerging insider threats, APTs, you name it, in real time without any rules or signatures, and it's easy to install, which is great for all of us in IT. And that is it. That is the conclusion.